What is up, NBL Network? It's January 2nd. It's the new year, NBL Live. First game of the new year. We're going to kick it off with building the franchise bowl. We got the 3-0 Jacksonville Jaguars at home trying to redeem that loss that they had against the Patriots in the BTF Bowl, the first one. So we got Bomber on the mic, we got Sonny on the mic, and Delvar behind the scenes doing productions. Stay tuned for the big game coming up, and we hope you enjoy it.
Nobody comes into this house without paying the price.
Not here! Not ever!
Welcome everybody to NBL Live for the Week 5 matchup between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the New England Patriots. Sonny Weaver here alongside Bomber. Now, Bomber, as you mentioned in the prelude, BTF Bowl 2.0. Jaguars looking to make a comeback here. Jacksonville off to a hot start, 3-0, coming off the bye week. A lot going on in Jacksonville. What are we looking for out of Jacksonville to come away with the victory today?
Well, I just think they need to keep doing what they've been doing since week 1, because you know what? You know what they tweeted out, Sonny? This is going to sum it all up. They said there's going to be a cold breeze in Jacksonville during the BTF Bowl. And that he's speaking of Drew Brees, the veteran quarterback leading this team with Coach Sean Payton. They brought him in. Gibbs brought him in. And I think they just need to just get behind this veteran quarterback and just let him do his thing, throwing the ball to Allen Robinson, Allen Hurns, and hitting the running game off with rookie Von Reed.
Interesting you point that out. Sean Payton, Drew Brees, known for offense. However, this season, not such a hot offense in Jacksonville. Currently, they're sitting at 31st in NBL in offensive stats. So, not sure that offense is going to carry them. But on the flip side, that number 1 ranked defense may just be enough to carry them here against the New England Patriots. We're going to find out right away as Drew Brees is going to come out under center.
Well, say I also want to point out, let's say their offense isn't high per yards because their defense is throwing them on the right side of the field and they're just punching it in. But don't get it confused. The offense has been very effective this year, as you see Von Reed, the rookie halfback, that they're very high on, pick up 11 yards on the first attempt of the game.
Yeah, Reed was a huge pickup in the offseason. Obviously, they had Yeldon, they had Ivory. Not happy with the production they were getting there. Reed, a big back. You'll see him down on the field. He towers over his opponents there. So the big power back between the tackles picks up the big first down. Or, excuse me, the first down on the first carry of the game. You know, we'll get to see Brees throw here on the first play of the game, or first pass of the game, deep downfield. Brees.
Yeah, Sonny, what I wanted to point out was give a shout out to the chat right now. We got Chino in the chat, one of the better graphic guys in the Twitter world right now. Does some great player edits. But Sonny, were you a little surprised when you saw Jacksonville go after Von Reed in the first round? I thought that was a little early, especially since they just drafted TJ Yeldon a couple seasons ago.
You know, it was a good pick. I think it was a deep running back draft class. When you see a guy you want, though, you go back there and get him.
Oh, that's face mask.
That's a big foul on the play there.
Wow.
They're going to have a sack, but instead they're going to get that 15 yards anyways, as no one was open there. As Brees looked like
Sonny,
he was trying to get rid of the ball there.
It's discipline. We just went through this with the Raiders on the last NBL Live, and it's starting to become a kind of a repetitive theme. You get a nice play, and now it's getting taken back and taken away from you because you face mask on the quarterback. So you got to have a little bit more discipline than that, especially when you're making a great play. So far, the Patriots defense seems to be picking up a little bit of steam.
Yeah, Coach Sean Payton can't be happy about that one. Throwing downfield to Kenny Stills. Nice reception by the recently added free agent, Kenny Stills. Big offseason pickup for the Jacksonville Jaguars, doing work here in the first quarter.
Yeah, nice throw by Drew Brees, a little play action, post over the middle of the field. Drew Brees is, he's confident back there. I mean, he just made a little bit of an errant throw early in the game, but bounces back with a nice wide open target over the middle. They like Stills. They like the little triple play they got on the outside with Allen Robinson, Hurns, and the immersion of Kenny Stills. Excuse me.
Yeah, Reed bulldozes over the guy there on first down for 4 yards. Interesting there, Brees did not adjust the play at the line. The count was not in his favor there. Only 2 blockers left of center there. Looking to flip the play, Brees decides to let Reed run anyways, and that shows a lot of confidence in the rookie, knowing that he's going to have to break a tackle or two to get anything on that play.
Yeah, guys, this is the second Building the Franchise Bowl. One of the only bowl game in the NBL right now is a toss to Von Reed to the outside. Doesn't look like he picks up any. Actually loses a yard. It's going to put them at a 3rd and 7. And this is one of the things I was interested in seeing, Sonny. Are the Patriots going to be able to step up right now and make some big plays in the red zone or right outside of the red zone defensively against this Jacksonville team and hold them to 3 points? Because that's going to be the key here, because you don't want to get yourself down in a hole against a team who has such a tough defense like Jacksonville does.
Quick screen pass to the outside to the prolific Robinson. He's going to be down. It's going to be short of the first down. So New England's defense comes up big, holds them in the red zone, and Jacksonville's going to be forced to kick a field goal here. Big stop there by New England.
Yeah, definitely. I think all things considering on that drive, New England should be pretty happy early in the game to only give up 3 at this point. Oh, almost a blocked field goal by the New England Patriots. Just came up a little short there. We've had our fair share of blocked field goals on NBL Live thus far.
Yeah, the block there, thought he was going to lay out for it. Instead, he runs by it as to not get the ill-advised roughing or running into the kicker there. Obviously, 4th and 1, I should say. Even a running into the kicker will give him a first down. So I think he was a little nervous there, tried to pull up.
That came up a little short as Patriots returned the ball to about the 20-yard line. And we're going to get to see some of this Nick Dorian. Sonny, were you on the call with me during the original Building the Franchise Bowl? I believe you were.
Do not what
oh,
was
no,
that?
it was OSU, wasn't it?
Yep.
Okay, it might have been OSU, but Nick Dorian for New England was a rookie then, and he was slinging the ball like I have never seen. And I'm really interested to see how this holds up with such a great Jacksonville secondary that's been playing, obviously, way ahead of their counterparts in the NBL in comparison thus far.
Jacksonville sniffs out that screen pass, so they try to get the ball out to Adrian Peterson, the big acquisition this offseason. Now, in talking to ownership and the coaching staff in Jacksonville, Dorian being a left-handed quarterback, I think caused some issues in the rookie year. Obviously, little uncommon to have the left-handed quarterback, so it changes some of the things as far as handing the ball off as well as which side's the blind side there. In year 2, it does seem like the staff is more comfortable with him. Excuse me, not Jacksonville, I should say New England with that. But either way, the coaching staff is much more confident in Dorian this year after getting a year of acquisition under their belt.
Yeah, I 100% believe that to be completely true. I mean, I think actually the turning point of Nick Dorian's career came last season in the Building the Franchise Bowl, the very first one where he just led the Patriots up and down the field against Jacksonville, and they ended up coming away with that W. Thus far this season, hasn't played too great in 4 games, 48.7 QBR. Definitely hasn't been the player that they hoped he would get off to. Maybe a little bit in a sophomore slump. He's 3 touchdowns to 9 interceptions and only 4 sacks. So the pressure hasn't been as bad as it's showing on his QBR. Maybe he's feeling a little rushed, and maybe he's just not as comfortable in the pocket as he should be as a second-year player in this offense.
I agree wholeheartedly there. One thing to note with that New England offense, they bring in Adrian Peterson, they have LeGarrette Blount, they run that committee backfield. You would expect a little more production there, and I think maybe they're forcing a little more on the sophomore quarterback there to do than you'd expect with those guys in the backfield. Obviously, the coaching staff wants to get those running backs involved. That first possession, however, the big loss early defeated that, and I think that's going to be key to this game. You stop that running game, and you're going to stop this New England offense.
Yeah, let's get some score predictions from the chat, Sonny, and then we'll go ahead and get your take on it. Pricey says Jacksonville 24-17. Denver Broncos in the chat says 31-24 Jacksonville. And then I scroll down a little bit more. You got Sip, who's the current owner of the New Orleans Saints. Bananas takes the Patriots at 24-17. And Chino says 28-21 Patriots. And Homer says 26-13 Jags. So it's kind of a mixed bag, 2-2. Sonny, how do you think this game plays out as far as where you think it's going to go as far as score?
I think it's going to be a little bit of a low-scoring game here. Obviously, Jacksonville's already put some points on the board, and they're in scoring position here. I do like Jacksonville to take this game. I think their defense overcomes in this one in a low-scoring game. I'm going to go 17-10 Jacksonville.
17-10 Jacksonville from Sonny, as Project Fat says 17-13 Patriots. As you see Von Reed motioning out to the right side, way offsides by the Patriots. Don't know what he got caught doing there. As you see, Logan Ryan, the cornerback, just looked a little confused and completely went off sides, and it looks like New England's going to replay downs with the 1st and 5 for Jacksonville. Raul, just huge miscue by cornerback Logan Ryan. Usually doesn't make mistakes like that.
You know, that kind of looked like one of those plays where the offense moves and the defense guy's trying to get the ref's attention, but the ref just wasn't buying it in that case.
As Von Reed takes it to the outside, looks like he's going to have enough to pick up the first down. No, it's going to be a little short, 2nd in inches. And look at Sean Payton over there. Look at those colors. Looking fresh. I thought I'd never see him in anything but New Orleans Saints gear. Now seeing him in Jacksonville, reuniting with Drew Brees. Drew Brees was benched last year in New Orleans. Obviously a decision that Coach Payton, maybe he didn't feel that was the right move at the time, and now he followed him to Jacksonville, and they've been having success. They haven't lost yet.
Yeah, interesting move there, and I think, like you said, I think Peyton likes his guy, and that guy being Drew Brees. The Saints let him go, and he decided to come off the couch and re-up his position here in Jacksonville. So it was a big get when the Jaguars brought him in, especially early in the preseason.
Yeah, Sip says that halfback is a beast. Talking about Von Reed, Sonny, initial impressions on Von Reed, one of the most talked about guys during the draft. One of the most talked about guys in Jacksonville after the draft. Had a great camp. Just stole the starting spot in any carries that he would be sharing with Ivory. It just hasn't happened. He's been pretty much a 3-down back. Hasn't got off to a great start statistically, only averaging 2.4 yards per carry. But man, he looks just. I mean, he looks tough. He looks strong. He looks like the prototype power back as he goes for some more there. Just running over the Patriots defense. 6 carries, 28 yards, off to possibly his best game of the season thus far.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see him in the preseason. Guy, like you said, very powerful, big back, tall back. I believe he's over 6'2", so he's got a lot of surface area to hit there. But he's a guy that can fall forward. I'm surprised at his yards per carry at this time, but I think that may actually go back on the offensive line. He's doing a lot more creating than he is running through open lanes.
Yeah, definitely. And I even see that today. A lot of yards after contact for Von Reed, a.k.a. virtual reality, VR, man, because they say this guy is just so powerful. They kind of remind him of LeBron James from the NBA. He's so big and he's so strong at his position. It's just like he's almost like somebody that you can't tackle. So VR, virtual reality, tell us in the chat what you think about that nickname, because this must be a video game the way he's running through the holes and the way he's running through his opponents.
First sighting of TJ Yeldon on the day there. They do throw it out to him, and they're going to be short there. But surprisingly, Yeldon just not been a factor. He's not had a carry on the year up to this point. So surprised to see Yeldon in the game there at all.
Yeah, TJ Yeldon's got to be a little upset with his current position. Jacksonville was the leading rusher last season for Jacksonville. And had somewhat of a decent year, 9 touchdowns, only 3.6 yards per carry, and just shy of 1,000 yards. But this year, 3 carries for -1 yards, all happened week 1, and we haven't really seen much of him yet. And that was his first reception on the season. That comes up short, and Jacksonville's up 6-0, Sonny. So 2 pretty promising drives stall out in the red zone for Jacksonville, and they end up taking field goals on both occasions. What does this mean to you moving forward for the Jacksonville offense?
Yeah, I would expect to see more Allen Robinson. They've really not tried to push the ball deep too much. Drew Brees getting a little older. Similar to Peyton Manning in Denver. Not sure if a little bit of falling off the arm as far as throw power goes. But what's going to be interesting to point out in this game is Jacksonville, with that dominant defense, really doesn't have to score a bunch of points. I think they still are putting the pressure here on New England to make a play, make them have to press. And right now, since they don't have to press, I don't think it's an issue. That was a nice break up there. I don't think that's an issue. So I think if you're Jacksonville, you're okay taking those points. New England's not showing you in the first quarter with only 7 yards. They're going to be able to score in this game.
As you see, Doran just really tries to thread, and he had time in the pocket, and he just, maybe he's not looking as comfortable as he should be, but he definitely had time in the pocket there as the halfback picked up, Adrian Peterson picked up a nice rusher, a blitzer, off the edge, and it gave him a little bit more time, and what was the end result? The ball ended up going right into the nearly an interception, and he tried to slice and dice between 2 defenders.
Yeah, and Peterson gets stuffed there on 2nd down, so that sets up 3rd and 11. And when you've got a young quarterback, one thing you do not want to do is put him in these 3rd and long situations, because that normally leads to turnovers. And when you talk turnovers, this Jacksonville defense is actually pretty good at generating them. One thing I would look to though here is the tight end sensation Rob Gronkowski lined up there in the slot. That would be the man I'm looking to here on 3rd and 11.
Yeah, expect a lot more targets to Rob Gronkowski this game. Hopefully Nick Doring doesn't get caught forcing it down the field as he had Gronk wide open over the middle of the field and just, and that's the inconsistencies of a young player in the NBL. Big shout out to Jugs. He's currently in the grid right now, holding it down with the Detroit Lions in the grid. Good luck to him as the season progresses. I know he had kind of a pretty sloppy offseason. Hope to pick that up this season. Shout out to him. A couple other guys in the chat. Decadog from the NBL, the 49ers. What's up to Decadog? And Jay Wise said Von Reed is more of a slimmer Jerome Bettis. Are you buying that just yet, Sonny? Slimmer Jerome Bettis.
No. He's a taller back. I mean, honestly, TJ Yeldon's actually a pretty good comparison as far as being a taller, leaner back. I think he is more powerful than Yeldon, though. Maybe a little bit taller, though, but I wouldn't necessarily say Bettis with that comparison.
And Sonny's favorite Wildcat comes out to gain a couple more yards. As Sonny, you express your displeasure about running the Wildcat and how you felt it was pretty much a gimmick set and formation that really just limited the offense. They pick up a couple more yards, 2nd and 7. Are your feelings changing about this Wildcat thus far?
No, unless you can throw out of it, unless you can pose the threat, and you don't even have to be great at throwing out of it, but unless you can show that and push it downfield to make people really, believe that it's going to happen, they're going to sell out on the run. You're never going to get anywhere with it. So until somebody starts trying to throw out of that, I'm not going to be a believer.
As Jacksonville picks up another first down, this one to Allen Hurns. Gets to exactly midfield at the 50, 1st and 10, 4:30 remaining in the second quarter. Jacksonville up 6-0. That's right on 2 field goals in which they were on some promising drives as they are now. Got a couple more first downs and then eventually just stalled out and had to settle for a field goal. Do we see anything different on this drive as Von Reed rushes for a gain of about 2, continues to fall forward, and I just really see no blocking from this guy, and I could see why they made the change from Yeldon. This guy's obviously a little more of a physical presence on the field, and maybe that's exactly what they needed because they want to stay with the run, but they don't want to do it at the point where it's detrimental to the offense and puts them in 3rd and long situations.
Yeah, looking at this New England defense, I'm seeing a lot of man coverage on 1st down. Maybe take more of a shot downfield off play action on 1st down rather than waiting to the standard 2nd and 3rd down to throw. They're getting kind of predictable running on 1st down right now, which I think is causing a lot of the issues with the stacked box that Reed's seeing.
Yeah, another screenplay to Von Reed. This one gets sniffed out. So the screenplay not doing too much in this game thus far. Both teams attempted it early, haven't got nothing from it. Now you got the veteran, 3rd and 12. This is where they said Blake Bortles struggled the most last year. So having a guy like Drew Brees in the backfield, being your captain, hopefully they can allow them to pick up plays just like that as they run a quick out to Allen Robinson on the left. A nice little out route, push to the 1st down marker as he picks it up against that cover 4 defense of the New England Patriots. Big first down by Jacksonville right there.
Yeah, and so this is the territory where Jacksonville has stalled out the last couple times here around the 35. I think the last field goal came from the 38-yard line. So like I mentioned, I wouldn't go to a run here. I'd go play action, something a little bit downfield, maybe 15 yards or so. But right now, New England's pushing up hard, thinking run. And here we go. We get the play action, but got to protect Drew Brees if you're going to do that as Jabal Sheard comes through with the sack, and that's going to be a big loss there on 1st down.
What a sack by Sheard right there. Now, how many of those does Drew Brees have left in his tank? I don't know how many hits he can take. He's obviously an older veteran at this point of his career, approaching the age of 40 years old. Signed a 2-year deal with Jacksonville. And Drew's, he hasn't been fragile over his career, but at 39, you have to think that eventually takes a toll on a receiver as he pushes the ball. He's just relentless with pushing the ball down the field right now. Finds a post to Allen Robinson, takes it down to the 18-yard line, and now they're in the red zone again. And I'd like to see some scoring other than 3 points from Jacksonville.
Yeah, in order to win this game, you're going to have to put up probably more than 6 points because you have to assume New England is going to score at some point in this game. Adrian Peterson's explosive. You've got Gronkowski and Edelman. So there's going to be some scores in this game. It's a matter of when, not if. So need to push the ball into the end zone here. They've got the time. They've got the timeouts. I expect a touchdown here from Jacksonville.
Yeah, Jay Wise said Doring can't play in the bright lights on NBL Live. I disagree with that statement only because in the NBL Building the Franchise Bowl, the first one, he went out and dominated and probably could have arguably got player of the game, that NBL Live. I can't remember exactly who got the MVP on that one. We have to check it out. You can go to 365.maddenbomberleague.com. Someone in the chat let me know who got MVP, player of the game, of that first Building the Franchise Bowl. You can find it on player of the game under the NBL Live tab on 365.maddenbomberleague.com.
Interesting here, Breeze in a pistol set motioning readout. He's got time and lays one up to Robinson, and that was a dangerous throw here and sets up 3rd and 11. You know, you talked about Breeze and his age and also the 2-year deal. I'm not sure he makes it the full 2 year. If you're Jacksonville spending the big money on the veteran quarterback, obviously they're sitting at 3-0, but you got to wonder, you know, he's not the long-term answer. So what's the plan here? They obviously let Blake Bortles go in free agency last year. So what's the plan, or are they just playing this year by year?
Well, I think the plan is to let the defense ball out and put them in position to do some big things. It's over the middle, fumble by Drew Brees on cue, picked up by the Patriots, down to the 35, and wow, Sonny, the red zone woes continue. That's right, I said red zone woes. They continue for the Jacksonville Jaguars as New England stops them once again, doesn't give up anything. Quick correction by myself, but I'm quick on my toes today. So, I mean, just as we were talking, long-term solution, I think it was, obviously we're going to invest in the defense, and the short-term was we just want a quarterback that won't turn it over as Drew Brees fumbles on cue. My mid-sentence, so kind of deflated my response to you, but as Doring almost gets sacked again and barely gets rid of the ball. But as I was saying, I think Drew Brees is a nice plug-and-play right now because he's got the weapons, and I think if they want to rely on some veterans for a couple years until they find the right one, it's better than reaching and finding the wrong one. As we've seen in NBL past, people coming down to pick these quarterbacks and trying to make it work when obviously they weren't the right answer.
Makes perfect sense. There's something here, New England. New England's getting a lot of pressure here from Jacksonville, trying to take these deep shots as they do finally get one.
Oh, there he goes!
In mid-sentence. Oh, my God.
Whoa, what a throw and touchdown, baby.
Wow. What I was going to say there was New England's taking a lot of time in the pocket there, and I'm not sure if they can protect Doring, although they run that shot play, keep extra blockers in, which is probably the right call there as they give Doring enough time to let the receiver work from right to left across the field. So New England's going to go up here 7-6 with about 1:08 left in the first half here on the BTF Bowl 2.0.
And that's Braxton Miller, Sonny. Braxton Miller, who came from where? From Houston. Traded initial season of this Madden 17, NBL season 19, I believe. Yes, he was traded to the New England Patriots for, I believe, a 3rd-round pick. And coming up big on NBL Live, he looked explosive there.
Yeah, he's not developed the way I think they thought he would out here in New England. Obviously, you got a lot of weapons. You got Edelman, Gronkowski. You've got the rookie tight end, Kalis, I believe, that hasn't really gotten on the field yet, but there's not a lot of balls to go around there. So when Miller gets his chance, he makes a big play on it, giving New England the lead here.
Yeah, if we can touch on that tight end for a little bit, that's Stanley Corliss, 6'5", and they called him Gronk 2.0, which was the funny part. He was selected 17th in the first round of NBL Season 20 rookie draft. That's right, he's a rookie right now, but he's been injured, and there was rumors that he's coming back for NBL for this big bowl game, right, for the Building the Franchise Bowl, this huge rivalry that's just been brewing and just been talked about since last season. They're playing again. How are we going to promote this? And they're like, oh, we got these two tight ends. You got Gronk and Gronk 2.0 on the same team. They're going to run it, be able to run it, pass it, however you want it. And he goes down early in the preseason, so he won't be making his return until week 6, which will be next week, debuting for the Patriots. And, oh, I completely missed how the Patriots just got the ball back.
Oh, there's big interception there by Malcolm Butler. So good place where Corliss could be used here as it's 2nd and 5 here. Clock's ticking at 45 seconds. New England here has a chance to go up a whole nother score before half. Big turnaround there by the New England Patriots.
And Adrian Peterson going to stay grinding. Nice little spin move by AP there. Doesn't get nothing. 2 rushes for -1 yards. So we got a Building the Franchise Bowl, right, Sonny? So we're looking at this. I see a lot of key veterans coming in and playing some key roles. Some star veterans playing some key roles for both of these teams. You got Adrian Peterson starting halfback. Now, he had a pretty decent outing last week, but his first 2 weeks were pretty miserable, and it was talked about on the Commissioner's Corner podcast about his struggle as they come out in the infamous Sonny Weaver Wildcat. Right here, it looks like they're gonna throw at Braxton Miller, and he almost gets picked off. Oh, a little trickery there, Sonny. Maybe they're trying to stick it to you and saying, hey, we can throw out of this Wildcat. We got Braxton Miller. He used to play quarterback in college.
Yeah, let's talk about the way that whole series went there. You've got New England with 45 seconds on the clock. They run the ball, then go to a Wildcat. You take your quarterback off the field and put the ball in the hands of a non-quarterback quarterback there to throw the ball. Almost gets picked off rather than settling for a field goal in a game where really you haven't been able to generate any offense except for the last 45 minutes of this game. You're going to go ahead and just settle for a field goal after getting into this good field position. I think that's playing not to lose, and I think New England's going to regret that here in the second half of this game.
Yeah, I think that definitely was poor play calling by New England with an opportunity to capitalize on a position that their defense has a legal block in the back by Jacksonville. As their defense puts them in a really nice spot that they already have 3, and they just settled for 3, like you said, Sonny, and I just think that's not how you win games, and that's exactly how you play not to lose. And what happens when you play not like you just don't want to lose? Oh, I'm playing not to lose. That's how my play calling's going to be. Most people end up losing that way because they get way too conservative, and that's what it was. They got scared, but then they throw in the traffic on Wildcats. So I'm just confused all the way around with the play calling by New England to end this half.
Yeah, and so we're going to wait for the next kickoff here. New England's going to get the ball after half. I do want to take a second to thank our sponsor, web3chaos.com. Make sure you check out web3chaos.com for all your affordable graphic needs.
Shout out to Nick Mazesko out there. That's OSU. He says he's checking in to NBL Live on his phone, and he's at Epcot. That's right, he's at Disney World. He didn't win the NBL Super Bowl, so he had to pay for those tickets on his own, but he's having a great time, and we wish him the best and hope to see him back in the NBL very soon. In the next couple days, I believe, he will be returning. He is the owner of the Carolina Panthers in the NBL.
So New England here, after not playing to lose there, they do get the ball back after half. So they got their 4-point lead here in Jacksonville to start the second half of this game. New England hasn't found a whole lot as Adrian Peterson's going to get stuffed there. They haven't found a whole lot of offense. They've gotten some good turnovers, but for the most part, this game has been not a great outing here for this New England offense. What do you think needs to change here in the second half?
I think they got to get Adrian Peterson in some space. I mean, he's obviously an older player, but he doesn't need to just continue to go up the middle when there's nothing there. As they run a little toss play to him, and he gets a little bit more space there, picks up only about 2, going to put them at a 3rd and 8. I just think they need to get Adrian Peterson going somehow, and possibly in the passing game, maybe a quick swing to the flat, possible quick little out route, something to get him going and get him creating some yards with his feet rather than having him in traffic trying to run against these defensive tackles and defensive ends as Doring goes down again. And it looks like it's going to be a 3 and out for the New England Patriots.
Doring is 2 of 6 for 60 yards. Basically, that Braxton Miller catch was the only offense this New England offense has had the whole game. Interesting you point getting outside. I think one of the issues with trying to get AP on the outside is going to be the blocking by your wide receivers. You've got 2 smaller guys out there. Braxton Miller, a converted quarterback to wide receiver. Julian Edelman, also funny to note, a quarterback to wide receiver. So you've got 2 guys out there, not really blockers by trade. I'm not sure getting AP on the outside with those guys on the field is going to be the way to do it. Maybe get the outside game going by getting Gronkowski or somebody else out there to set those blocks on the edge.
Big shout out to Blake Johansson. He's the Cardinals in the grid. Welcome to the grid, man. And we're glad you're listening and staying tuned to everything going on in the NBL as Von Reed looks like he's going to pick up a little few up the middle. Yeah, I definitely agree with that, but I like what you said. They have a bunch of wide receivers converted quarterback. So I feel like you're indirectly saying that this team was built for the Wildcat, and they should run more of it. Is that what you're saying? Is Sonny Weaver changing his position on the Wildcat?
Never. The Wildcat is
but if there
one
was
of the
one
worst
team to
formations
run
I've
it,
seen.
if there was one team that should run it in the NBL right now, I mean, you could argue it should be the Patriots.
Drew Brees getting banged up back there,
looks
but
like another
face mask.
Wow.
Second on a sack this game.
Unfortunate as Drew Brees, I looked like he had a guy open, maybe needed a little quarter of a second more and would have been able to get that pass off. Some score updates. The Cardinals lost to the Rams this week, 17-18, big rivalry. Both teams were undefeated, playing each other. That division looks like it's going to come down to the very end, and it looks like the Rams are just slightly ahead right now with the nice victory over Arizona and protected that home field.
Yeah, Arizona making a little bit of a comeback after a down year last year. The rookie quarterback out in Arizona is doing a phenomenal job.
And what do they call him, Sonny? What's his nickname?
I believe it's Sunshine.
Well, I mean, you gave him the nickname, so I would assume that you would know it, and that is correct. It is Sunshine. He's been playing pretty phenomenal over there. They moved away from Carson Palmer, and to have that immediate pickup, almost an improvement of quarterback play thus far, still early in his career, I'd say that's pretty impressive. As other teams have gone the other route, as Jacksonville's got Drew Brees, the Buffalo Bills have Matt Ryan right now. You're seeing a lot as TJ Yeldon, just out the backfield wide open on the little play action swing to a dual halfback set, throwing to TJ Yeldon in the backfield.
You're back in this 30 to 35 yard range where really Jacksonville struggled all night. They're going to have to find some offense here, and they've struggled with turnovers in this area. Obviously, you had the interception, but also the sack fumble here earlier that set up the first touchdown of this game. So Jacksonville's going to have to be careful here as they hand it off to Reed up the middle, and that's going to take them down to the 28-yard line, just a 3-yard gain on the play.
All right, Sonny, we're getting some feedback from your Wildcat hate in the chat right now. Nick, OSU says, sorry, Sonny, but you are the Bengals. And in turn, the Bengals, they're a Wildcat. So don't go against your team, buddy. That's what OSU is saying to you right now. Also, Blake Johansson says he's watching from his hotel in Bloomington. He's also watching Raw and The Bachelor. So this guy's watching The Bachelor and NBL Live. I wouldn't want to be – we're not targeting that demographic, are we, the ones that watch The Bachelor? I don't know if that's a competitive television show right now for sports gaming, but who knows? Maybe a lot of people out there watching The Bachelor right now.
We're gonna check the Nielsen ratings on that one. I think we may be rated a little higher than The Bachelor at this point, but we'll have our people check on that. Third and 2, this is a big third down here for Drew Brees as he drops back to throw on the play. He does hit the wide open tight end coming across the field there. Goldilocks there comes up with the reception, Percy, and that's going to set up a first down at the 16-yard line.
Yeah, you see a 3rd and 2 right there. I just don't understand the cover 3 call. I would have liked the cover 2, hard flat, something to stop quick drag that would easily have picked up the first down, especially with a guy like Drew Brees behind center, man. He's just such a smart quarterback, and you know he's willing to make that throw underneath and pick up the first down. He's all about moving the chains. So to give him that underneath that easily, I don't think they worked him enough on that 3rd down. But, I mean, they only gave up a yard, so now they're at the 16, which makes it even harder to get in. And as that's being said, a little toss to the outside, gets down to the 5-yard line. 1st and goal, Von Reed, 12 rushes, 55 yards. Pretty impressive debut for the rookie on NBL Live.
Yeah, we've been talking about the guy all game. He's very stout back, makes the plays down the field, pushing these guys out of his way. I like him. I like him a lot. I think Jacksonville's going to have to do a little better as far as offensive line goes. Help this guy out a little bit, but can't be too upset with the production you're getting out of him so far.
Yeah, let's see how creative. Looks like it's going to be up the middle right here, taking it down. Obviously, possibly a touchdown. Looks at the 1. That could easily be challenged, the spot of that ball. Minute 44 left. Nice drive by Jacksonville. Looks like they're finally going to be able to punch in that touchdown that's been eluding them for the last 2 or 3 drives. 3 drives exactly for Jacksonville.
And this is Reed territory right here. This is what you went out and got him for. But instead, it's Drew Brees getting the touchdown. Oh, man.
Well, that just shows how much they trust Von Reed in small yardage pickups with his 6'2", 230-pound frame. Smaller Jerome Bettis or bigger, whatever was the case earlier. Obviously not the case now, because there's no way Jerome Bettis in his prime doesn't get that ball.
No, not at all. So, interesting call there, but they do get the touchdown. So, 13-10 Jacksonville. Not going to be able to hit my 17-10 prediction, but I think we've still, based on these offensive performances, could end up right around that range, as New England has still yet to really muster up any sort of offense in this game.
And Cortez Logan says right before he punched it in, he goes, very surprised to see New England up at this point. Jackson has been on fire this season so far. Jacksonville's been on fire this season so far. So he says that Jacksonville immediately takes the lead. So maybe Cortez Logan, maybe you're a little bit of good luck for these Jacksonville Jaguars as they make a nice little run and finally get into the end zone since you appeared in the chat.
5 rushes, 1 yard. That's what AP decided to come to New England for. I'm not sure he's going to be too happy after this game.
Yeah, and I see a lot of rushing on first downs. I mean, that's the issue. It's just obvious running downs and obvious running looks and running the ball, and it just seems like Jacksonville's sniffing these out.
Interesting, they keep trying to run from that shotgun set. AP didn't have success with Norv Turner trying that in Minnesota. He didn't like the play calling there, and here we go. We got it again of him, running from those shotgun sets, this time pistol set. But either way, Adrian Peterson's a downhill runner that likes to line up with the fullback in front of him, open the hole, let him make one cut and go. Not so sure that running him out shotgun is the way to use this aging back.
It doesn't look like it so far today as Doring comes out in shotgun again, or little pistol formation. LeGarrette Blount behind him. Looks like they're using LeGarrette Blount as a possible third down back as he finds a nice underneath throw to one of the favorite targets of the day, Braxton Miller, on a little comeback route. Very nice throw by Doring right there, showing off his ability to get rid of it quick. I mean, that was a pretty quick release by Nick Doring.
If I told you coming into this game Nick Doring would have 3 receptions with about 20 seconds left in the third quarter, your prediction of the score probably wouldn't be a 3-point margin, would it?
Well, if he had 3 receptions, that'd be a lot of Wildcat and him catching the ball. He has 3 completions, not receptions just yet, as he whips it out the back. He slings that like I think he's in Westworld right now, and he's having a gunfight. He's just slinging that ball from his hip. Did you see that throw, Sonny? Just an impressive throw, an impressive talent Nick Doring is on that play-action boot to the left. He just whips it. I mean, he hides it back there. You can't even see if he's got the ball or not. It just comes from that one motion downfield, and now they're moving the ball on New England, on Jacksonville.
Doring taking a lot of time at the line here, checking the play. Going to be a play action on first down, and that's picked off.
Oh, wow.
Miles Jack read that one all the way, so Jacksonville's going to take back over. New England's offense is still struggling here in the fourth quarter.
Oh, yeah, looking for a corner route to Gronkowski there. Obviously, it wasn't open. He wasn't comfortable at the line of scrimmage, didn't make the proper adjustments, and then forced it into traffic. But there's still hope. They've stopped Jacksonville a couple times and settled them for field goals, so if New England's defense can step up here, we might have ourselves a little bit of a ball game down the stretch.
New England rotating their defense there. Drew Brees countering, changing the play at the line. Reed runs right into his own lineman. So part of the issue in Jacksonville is the blocking of the line. The other part of the issue in Jacksonville is Reed running into his own line, but that just comes up with 2 yards there on the first down play.
Yeah, Von Reed looks like he's pressing a little too quick to jump, not letting his blocks settle in front of him and allowing him to read that defense. Reed struggling, making the read. Corner route to the outside. Julius Thomas picks it up to the 39-yard line. Drew Brees 11 for 15, 134 yards, and an interception thus far in the game. 13-10 Jacksonville. 5:28 remaining.
Not surprising that we're not seeing a lot of scoring here. Obviously, I mentioned earlier in the game, Jacksonville with the 31st ranked offense, New England with the 24th. So not two offenses really known for their scoring prowess.
JY says, I can't tell if it's the Jacksonville defense making Peterson look old or if it's just Peterson being old. So, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both at this point. Jacksonville's defense is obviously very fast, young, and completely the opposite of what Adrian Peterson is at this point of his career. And I don't think the line's really blocking for Adrian Peterson. As you said, he's not really comfortable getting those handoffs out of shotgun and pistol sets. You say he's a downhill runner, and that just doesn't seem like the scheme that's really fitting for him in New England thus far.
Yeah, not at all. And so third down, 42-yard line here for Jacksonville. Drew Brees, 3rd and 13. You've got a veteran quarterback here. You can make the play downfield if need be here. So look for Jacksonville to try to convert this. Sitting on a 3-point lead here in the fourth quarter is not going to be a good way to win. So they're going to have to make a play here. As Brees does push it downfield, but it's intercepted.
Dude, X wide open across the middle of the field, forced down the field. McCourty picks that off, and I think Drew Brees might be listening to our broadcast, and I'm thinking, you don't have to force it down the field. Just pick up enough yards to get a field goal or something. Get something away from this drive as Drew Brees goes for the whole enchilada and comes up a lot of short on that one as it's intercepted by New England. But, man, right over the middle of the field, wide open, coming from the left side. I believe it was Allen Robinson.
Yeah, and you had McCourty over top, and you had the linebacker underneath bracketing him, and so forcing that there on that play, we just talked about him being a veteran quarterback and giving him the free will to kind of do what he needs to. May have to rethink that one after that play.
Yeah, Drew Brees getting a little underneath the Gronk as the big monster. You remember the game he had in building the franchise bowl, our inaugural, our first building the franchise bowl. He dominated. I mean, LeGarrette Blount was the one that ended up getting player of the game. Thanks to JY for looking that up. But, man, Gronkowski had some plays where you just left you scratching your head like, wow, I can't believe he's running over these defenders and these Jacksonville linebackers like he was. And he really is something that I see missing from that game to this game. And I think that's really hurting New England from being able to move the ball down the field and put some real points on the board.
Yeah, very surprising that Gronkowski hasn't been a bigger part of this game plan, especially underneath a Jacksonville defense playing a lot of cover 3, cover 4. Let Gronk sit down in the holes and make the play.
2nd and 9, and Doran stuck at the line again thinking this has never been good for him all game. He looks like he's going to take off. No, he takes a step and throws it up the field for a nice gain to Julian Edelman down to the 38-yard line, and a little two-step and let it rip from Doran. Doran seems to do a lot better when he takes a couple steps out the pocket or he's throwing on the run.
Yeah, it's a good way to make a young quarterback feel comfortable. You cut the field in half, get them rolling out one side or the other. Easy play, easy reads. And it looked like Doran there for a second thought about running. He had a little room, but in the end he finds Edelman for a big first down.
And here's Doran under center again. This is a handoff to AP, and there you go, like you said. Get him running downfield and let him make a cut as he cuts to the outside, and it has his biggest game of the day, 6-yard pickup for the veteran Adrian Peterson, 33 years old, first season in New England from being a free agent. Said he had a couple years left in the tank, maybe not a couple, but if he could finish out this season strong, maybe New England could win that division.
Yeah, it's a division that struggled in year 1, but year 2, the Buffalo Bills emerged as a pretty good team. I think the division's gotten a little better this year. It'll be interesting to see if they can compete down the stretch. Right now, it's definitely a competitive division.
And over the middle to Braxton Miller, one of his favorite targets today. It looks like Doran and Braxton Miller have a nice chemistry going on here as they seem to really put themselves in situations where they can find each other down the field, especially after the first read is gone.
Yeah, they set up that play earlier with the handoff to Miller on that jet sweep there. So they come back, run the jet sweep this time. Edelman coming across, but they pick up Miller for that first down. So good setting that play up earlier in the game.
And there was the pressure coming, but they find Adrian Peterson down to the 10, and Doran takes a shot from the Jacksonville defense. Wow, he got popped on that one. He hung in the pocket, but you like to see what AP did there. He knew it was time to release, and he got out of dodge, and he made himself a target for Doran because he saw the blitz and the pressure coming, and there was nothing Adrian Peterson could do with it at that point, and you saw him release. He really saved that play right there, and that's what a veteran does is he picks up the first down, and now it's in a real tough spot here. You're at the 10. It's 1st and 10, so there's no first down. It's pretty much 1st and goal. And in comes LeGarrette Blount, number 27, New England Patriots. He was the player of the game building the franchise bowl. The first one that we had last season. Hasn't done anything this game. Could be about time for him to show he's still got a little bit left in that tank.
2 minutes left here. I don't think New England's going to put the ball in the air here. I think they're worried about turnovers. You at least come away 3 here, get the tie. Now, I go back to what I said earlier, though. That's playing scare. I would try to win the game here because you've really not shown outside of this drive the ability to work downfield. So they do run on first down. But I'm telling you, you got to put the ball in the air here, try to win the game. Because if you go to overtime, I like Jacksonville's chances to win this game.
Yeah, I think if New England can put the ball in the air and score passing here, I think that's their only chance to get 7. If they can come away with 7, 17 to 13, I'll really like New England's chances. But if they settle for a tie here and it's 13 to 10, I could see Jacksonville driving on the field with Drew Brees. He's doing it as he's done before in the NBL. He's 2-time NBL Super Bowl champion. And I could see him coming back as LeGarrette Blount just gets lit up right there. Number 44, Jacksonville Jaguars, Miles Jack. And that's for a loss. 3rd and goal from the 14. And I expect another conservative play call by the New England Patriots here. But Jacksonville's burned their timeout, so that's also an interesting theory. You know, if you can get some stops, now you have 3 of your timeouts. You settle for this field goal, and it's not end-all, be-all as far as with timeouts with you if you can put points on the board here and get it tied up at 13.
Yeah, but realistically, you only have to travel about 50 yards to get in field goal range here. So 50 yards in a minute 45, not a huge deal. I would look for Jacksonville to be able to do that. So once again, like I said, New England here, although they do look to throw here, they throw it, and New England does it.
Oh, no! Big Gronk Daddy! Touchdown, Rob Gronkowski, Sonny! Tell me, baby, did you see it coming? Dorian, wow, man, I couldn't imagine Dorian came out of that huddle from the offensive coordinator with the pass play in mind. Did he make that adjustment at the line?
It's tough to tell. What I will say is that's how you win games in this league. You can't be scared to try to win the game. They struggled on offense all game. They get one shot to move it down the field. They do that. They go up here late, 17-13. Now it's going to be up to the defense to try to hold Drew Brees. And this Jacksonville offense, it's kind of sputtered since the first half.
The Jacksonville offense with 1 time out. I think that could come to be a huge factor because you know how Jacksonville's moved the ball thus far. They've moved it. They moved the chains. They're relying on this time. They've gone on pretty significant drives as far as duration of time. So you're going to take that away, Sonny. They got a minute 40, 1 timeout. I thought definitely they could get in field goal range with 1 timeout. But to put points on the board, they're going to have to do some hurry up, which I haven't seen much of Jacksonville this year. As I've mentioned, they're 3-0. They've had pretty convincing wins because their defense has played so well. So a little let up on defense. Now they're down. What's going on in Jacksonville right now?
Well, I think they're a little surprised that a defense that's played so well this year has kind of let them down there at the end of the game. We're going to go hurry up here. Allen Robinson with that first down reception. So right now, Drew Brees, you bring the veteran out and you say, hey, Drew Brees, this is what we paid you all that money for. Go win us the game, and that's what they're doing. But Brees taking a lot of time here at the line. Not sure why you run hurry up with that much time being wasted. He does push it downfield, and that's almost intercepted.
Almost intercepted. Wow,
and that's
Sonny.
not what you want to see here late in this game.
Bingham had his hands on it and just couldn't come down with it. But Brees, I felt like Brees stared him down the whole way, Sonny.
Yeah, and if Jacksonville does somehow come back to win this game, New England's going to look at that play, and they're going to be kicking themselves for that one because that should have been the end of the ball game here.
You pick that off, you take a knee, game's over. A lot of pressure on Jacksonville now, 2nd and 10. Can Drew Brees get some magic going? Got Sean Payton over there calling the plays as he waits and he waits and he waits and he looks in traffic and just can't hold on to it. Do you blame the receiver there? Now here's a question I want to know. You know, as a quarterback like Drew Brees, obviously success he's had, you throw a pass like that, do you expect that to come down and get and be a catch by the receiver because it's in such traffic? He's taking 2 or 3 hits, little shots on the way down. Do you really expect him to hold on to that pass?
Allen Robinson, yes. Kenny Stills, no. I think you just hope as Brees throws an interception.
That's game.
And that's going to be game. New England comes away with it. Cyrus Jones gets the pick, 3rd interception of the season, and none bigger than that one. So New England appears that they're going to win the BTF Bowl 2.0, and Jacksonville is going to regret this one as they were in control early, but they're not going to come away with that win.
What a great man coverage right there by New England. Really stepped up, and I don't think Drew Brees thought that was going to be man coverage there. And when he did, he went to a hard break on a route, and he just didn't get the separation needed to make the completion as Nick Dorian is taking the knee, and that's going to put New England up 2-0 and also give Jacksonville their first loss of the season. So building the franchise bowl right now, you got New England 2, Jacksonville 0. Next time these two teams meet, if Jacksonville does not come away with the win, and I'm saying it right now, this is not going to be a rivalry anymore. It's just going to be one of those bowl games that nobody really cares about. Jacksonville has to come back. They dominated this entire game, and they didn't come away with the win. So, I mean, this is going to hurt them, man. As far as rivalries go, they got to be upset. They completely outplayed New England today. They just made a couple key critical errors down the stretch, and they couldn't punch it in when they went on these long drives, and they had to settle for field goals.
Yeah, field goals are a good way to lose games. Jacksonville obviously settling for the 3 when they were on the 30-yard line when they should have probably put one in there early in the game, and then they had the turnovers down there. So a lot of missed plays there for Jacksonville, but New England comes away the victor 17-13. Bomber, NBL Live, player of the game, who have you got?
I'm going with Rob Gronkowski, and only because of that catch he made in traffic single-handedly won them the game. They did nothing to win this game up until that point. That was probably the biggest play that they made on the offensive end, and he caught it in traffic with 2 or 3 guys around him, took a hit, came down with it on a 3rd and goal from, I believe, the 13. So I'm going with Rob Gronkowski, NBL Live, player of the game, for building the franchise bowl. The second one's it's 2-0 for New England right now, and New England moves to, I believe, 4-1 on the season right now.
4-1 on the season for New England, 3-1 for Jacksonville. All right, everybody. Well, we thank you guys for tuning into NBL Live. Like we said, this is the BTF Bowl. Make sure you check out building the franchise for both these guys' takes on this game going forward. For all of us here at NBL Live, I'm Sonny Weaver. This has been Bomber. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.